Is it okay to be naked around parents at later ages? 12 or so. As long as you never broke both of your arms at the same time, you're good. It's totally normal in the saunas of Nordic countries and the public baths of Asia. Different people and families have different rules. Is that okay? Of course. The way you were brought up was very different to me. That's okay. I know there are naturalist families for whom nudity is the norm. That's okay too. Is it normal, common, regular? Maybe. Maybe not. But who cares? Ultimately, was anyone harmed by this? A lot of people don't seem to understand that nudity does not equal sexuality. We're all born naked. That said, during puberty some teens feel self-conscious about their changing bodies. Also completely ordinary. I'm in Europe and we're pretty chill about nudity. Do whatever you and your family, housemates feel comfortable with. No hard and fast rule. My son is 11 and I know he is starting to be a bit self-conscious. But he always uses the shower in our ensuite and showers just after his younger sister, so there is skin all over the place. I've made it clear that as soon as he is ready he can have the main bathroom to himself and close the door or whatever. I won't compel him to do anything. If everyone is comfortable with it, yeah. When my bro and I were younger, elementary aged, we'd bathe together and play games in the tub, and our mom or dad would be there or at a certain point just check on us. As I got older, we stopped bathing together, but mom or dad would still come in and talk with me if I was taking a bath and in there for a while. I remember explicitly right before I was preteen age, maybe 12, my dad came in and I scrambled to cover myself with a washcloth. He said something like, "Oh, this isn't okay anymore, is it? Or do you want privacy?" And that was the last time he ever came to talk to me while I was in the bath. A few days later, stepmom told me there were pads and tampons under the sink, lol. So I think as long as people are respecting everyone's boundaries, it's fine. And it's all up to the individual family unit. My husband's family saw each other in their underwear around the house until they were grown, but that wasn't a thing at my house. It really depends on the family. Some families view nudity as no big deal, just a natural state of being. Some view it as a private thing. I will change in front of my mom or friends or sister, but I wouldn't walk around naked in front of anyone besides a partner, really. When I was 6 or 7, I jumped up and down on my bed butt naked with the blinds open. No thought to it. My dad came rushing into my room yelling at me. The older kids, 5th graders, were walking the block and got a good kick out of it. I got beat up on the bus ride to school for a time after that. I hated those kids. I am sure those idiots did the same when they were younger. Maybe someone picked on them, maybe not. I will never know. It's atypical, and I would certainly want more details to judge a particular case. Given your responses here, I think in your case, it was probably fine. If parents are refusing to respect a child's desire for privacy, though, that's definitely not okay. Is it okay? Yeah. Is it typical? No. I've changed the grossest diapers and put medicine in places as needed, so it's not going to bother me as a parent. The one exception: don't sit on my couch without putting something down. I have very little faith in the hygiene of 12-year-old boys. As long as everyone is inboard with it. There are plenty of families raised nudists. We're at our nudism, but be careful talking about this online if you're under 18. It can attract some bad people to your inbox. Not really. No. To be fair, it depends. I've been raised on a very liberal family on this regard. There were no issues if one needed to be naked. Nobody locked the bathroom door in case anyone needed to go in. Changing clothes were a normal thing. But we didn't stayed around naked. Just on a necessity or with a context. In a nutshell, it's not common, usual, or normal, or doesn't follows the common norm. But as it's okay? It is up to your family. What are your world views? How you and they were raised? How all of you feel? Definitely for a naturist family it would be more than normal. So it's up to you. Generally in America, being buck-ass naked around your parents casually usually ends by the time you're no longer considered a toddler. Just underwear naked by the time you're 10. I think it depends on you and your parents. My parents would have never let that fly. My dad would probably have beat me for it. I have 12-year-old twin stepkids. And a 6-year-old of my own. And for the most part around here the most naked anyone gets is in their underwear. And that's pretty rare overall. We all have robes. And at the very least are covered up at least that much. Personally, as a woman who was an early bloomer as a child, I never ever felt comfortable being naked around my parents, and I wouldn't be okay with it as a parent. My mom would ask me inappropriate questions and make comments on my body that made me uncomfortable. And I also didn't have the privilege of having my parents knock on my bedroom door when it was closed. They'd walk in as I was changing and it would make me feel so disrespected. Privacy is important. Yeah, it's fine. This a family dynamic thing. No right or wrong here. I mean it depends on the people. Like if everyone is cool with it and doesn't make it weird, I don't see the issue. There are cultures of people that walk naked around each other all the time. And nobody engages in incest or anything like that. As long as everyone is chill. Doesn't really matter. It's the human body. But, obviously if someone finds it weird or is uncomfortable etc., then yeah, probably shouldn't do it. I'd assume most traditional Western families wouldn't want their children seeing them naked when they are going through a vulnerable and often confusing time like puberty. Which is reasonable. But again, it can vary from person to person or family to family.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.